It's Saturday, October 17th, 2009. I'm Christina, your Saturday vlogger, and you're watching Weight Loss Losers. This week's topic is how we stay on track when we're really busy. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I do work part-time now. And life with an almost 10-month-old baby gets pretty crazy sometimes. Depending on how his schedule's going, things might get completely thrown off and I might not be able to eat at my set meal times. So it's really important, and I know this is very Dr. Phil, but it's very important to create a no-fail environment. That means basically not having tempting things around to try to screw you up and get you to go off track. Living with your family or with your spouse or with roommates or with friends, sometimes it gets really hard to do that because they have their own food and you have to share a kitchen with them, and it can be really bad if everyone's not all kind of on the same page. So what I try to do, and I try to let my family know this as well, is to keep the horrible food out of sight. Put it away, don't have it out on the counter. Sometimes they still, leave stuff out. What I try to do is to keep the bad food off limits, out of sight. And I have my own cupboard that is filled with healthy snacks, healthy foods, that is my cupboard. And that's the only cupboard I'm allowed to go into. Another thing that is really helpful for me when I'm having a crazy day and the baby's crying and I'm starving is the night before I have, we always have leftovers usually after dinner. So I'll portion out lunch-size portions of those and put them in the fridge, and that way it's ready to go for lunchtime the next day. So I just pop it in the microwave and heat it up. Those little Tupperware containers are really great. They're about this big and they're perfect portion size for a lunch. Another thing that I do is I'll cook like 8 or 10 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'll cook them all at the same time. I'll either saute them with like very little oil or just some spray, or I'll grill them, and I will put some in the fridge and most of them in the freezer, and that way I can just grab one and put it with anything else that I'm having for lunch or dinner that day, and it's so easy, and that way there's no excuse to not have some source of good lean protein in your meal. One thing that I add the chicken to is I like to have those bags of salad, the pre-made salads, or I'll make a big salad, the day before, portion it out into Tupperware containers that's, a good serving. You can eat a ton of salad, just lettuce, and it's hardly any calories, don't even worry about it. And you just throw the chicken in, throw in a little bit of dressing and whatever else you're gonna put in it, put the lid on, shake it up, and you have a great salad that's all mixed in. It's just wonderful. Another thing that we do on the weekends is we make big batches of soup and chili, and then we portion them out into single serving sizes and put them in the fridge. And it's great for all of us because my husband could just grab one on his way to work. I can grab one, when it's lunchtime or dinner time. You just heat it up, maybe put a piece of bread with it, or, a side salad, and you have a really great lunch. And sometimes when, you're all out of stuff, you have nothing prepared, that's when I say, it's okay to have a frozen dinner. They're not that bad. I really like the Healthy Choice ones. They have some really great ones. The Asian pot stickers are my favorite. They're delicious. And, I try to limit those because they have a lot of sodium, but they're really good and they're, a decent amount of calories. When you're super busy with a kid or you're running off to work and you know, your schedule's all crazy, it's important to have healthy snacks around at all times, because you might have missed lunch, you know, you might not have time, you might be out and about, you really have to have something healthy so you don't, you know, get tempted to go through the drive-thru or grab, you know, a candy bar at the store. Some of the things that I love to keep on hand are apples, bananas, string cheese, trail mix. Trail mix is, you know, it's great because it has protein, and if you get the kind with the dried fruit in it, you know, you got your carbs and all that good stuff. But it's important to measure those out, because it is really easy to go overboard on trail mix if you're just, you know, shoveling it in your mouth mindlessly. So make sure you measure it out and like put it in baggies or little containers, because it can, you know, become very high calorie if you just mow on it. Another piece of advice that I have is, when you're out and about, be familiar with the menus of the places that you frequent when you are, you know, out doing your errands. One place that I go to a lot is Starbucks. I know it's, you know, not a good thing to get in the habit of, but I can't help myself. So, get on their website, look at, you know, the nutrition information of the places that you're going, you know, several times a week, and make sure that you're making, you know, a good choice. Don't have your staple drink that you get 3 to 4 times a week be the venti pumpkin spice latte with, you know, 700 calories in it. There are healthier options. Get the iced tea, unsweetened. You can still have your treat, your drink, but it's not going to completely throw you off track. The last piece of advice that I have, and it's so important, is to always, always, always carry water with you wherever you go. Anytime you leave the house, bring a bottle of water with you. It will help keep you hydrated, and that is so important, because your body will function better if it's well hydrated. And also, feelings of hunger and feelings of thirst are very, very similar. So you don't want to get confused and think that you're hungry and eat and eat and eat, and your body is screaming for water. If you're feeling satiated and well hydrated, you're much less likely to grab a candy bar on the way through the checkout line, or to stop at drive-thru if you're feeling hungry. So always carry water with you. Those are the things that help me when I am very busy, and stay tuned for tomorrow when Daniel talks about the things that he does when he gets really busy to stay on track. And I will see you next week. Bye.